Fall is almost here, which means it is almost time for my favorite season because I just love fall. I love the colors, I love the shorter days, I love everything about it. And another thing that I really love about it is that I get to think about a new wardrobe again because the children will basically get a new wardrobe 2 times a year. So they get it at the beginning of spring and the beginning of fall. And they will wear the same things in spring as in summer and the same thing in fall as in winter. And the only thing we do is we add or take a layer off and we make it work for 2 seasons. So now we actually finish the warmer seasons and we're gonna look at the colder seasons. And that means that we need to think about a new wardrobe. So that is what I'm gonna do. Now, the reason we decided to go with a capsule wardrobe is basically because if you are not careful, you can spend so much money on children's clothing, and especially because it's cute. I love children's clothing. I love buying stuff for the children. It's fun to buy for someone else. And it is something that you or they will grow out of very quickly. So you don't want to buy too many things because it happened in the past where I had a couple of dresses for our daughter, for example, and then at the end of the season, 2, 3, or all of those dresses looked really good still, and I had to donate all of them, and I basically was throwing away money. Yes, it is really good to donate those things and to give that to somebody else, but it's also really nice to not spend so much money beforehand and to actually wear everything until you can't wear it no more. So that is basically why I decided to go with a capsule wardrobe, just to make sure that we have enough for the season, but also to make sure that we don't spend too much money on a lot of clothing that we're not gonna wear and that I have to donate at the end of the season. Because if I donate all of that, it basically means that I'm giving away money. And even though I am not against giving it away, I don't want to spend too much and I don't want to go overboard. So I want to be careful about how much I spend just because we live on one income and I want to just be a good steward of what we have. So anyway, we do a capsule wardrobe, like I said, and I created this printable that I will actually leave in a link down below. I have one for girls and one for boys, and they are basically the same except for the dresses part. Other than that, it basically looks very similar because I just wrote down that we need t-shirts and we need bottoms. And for girls, obviously bottoms can mean jeans, but it can also mean a skirt. And for boys, bottoms is just pants. So I made it very general. The only thing is dresses because I do like to buy our daughter dresses. I love buying dresses for our daughter because it's so simple. Throw on a dress and she's dressed. So the first thing that I do is I look at the list and I will look at what we have already. And in fall, it's actually a lot easier to do this because a lot of the short sleeve things that we still have from the previous season, we can still wear in winter. We just add a cardigan, for example. And from winter going to summer, that is a little harder because if you have a bunch of sweaters left, you cannot really wear them in summer. But in fall, that is one of the good things about the fall season is you can just layer up. So that is what I love to do. So I look at their shirts, and for our daughter, we buy 4 shirts. So that is long or short sleeve. Now, short sleeve we don't buy right now, but that is something that she might have left from the summertime. And then we buy some long sleeve shirts if she needs them. And we buy sweaters or cardigans to go with those t-shirts. So if she has a yellow and a pink and a white t-shirt, we can buy a very basic cardigan that can go over all of those shirts. So for example, dark blue, you can wear that over all those colors. And then she has 3 outfits with 3 things that she already had from the last season. And the only thing that I had to buy was the cardigan. So that is how I like to do things. So we buy 4 shirts for our daughter. This is 3 sweaters or cardigans. We just like to wear sweaters, so I do like to have that on hand, but I also love cardigans for the obvious reason. Then we have 3 dresses, 3 bottoms, so that could be a jeans or a skirt. And then obviously underwear, socks, she needs a pair of shoes, she needs a jacket. I actually have 1 pajama on this one, so I will actually change it so you have the correct one because they cannot live with 1 pajama. I usually have 2 just to make sure that when the other one is in the laundry, they still have 1, obviously. So I usually have 2 pajamas, and in the winter time, they end up with 3 because for Christmas, they also get a fun pajama. So they usually end up with 3. And then a church outfit because our children love to play outside. I'm sure yours do as well. and their jeans look terrible halfway through the season, and I want them to look good when they go to church. So we have a church outfit that they wear only to church. And sometimes our daughter, for example, she will have dresses that she can wear to church as well. But I just want them to have one nice outfit that can be worn to church. And then at the bottom, I have seasonal, because in the summer you need swimwear and sandals. So that is for summer. And then snow gear and a scarf, gloves, hat, all those wintry things, obviously for winter. So that is basically what the capsule looks like. And then for our son, it looks very, very similar, except we have 3 dresses for our daughter. And then for our son, obviously we don't have dresses, but we have an extra bottom, an extra shirt. So he actually, or they, because we have 2 boys, they will get a little bit more jeans and a little bit more shirts, because that is obviously what they will wear. So that is basically what we buy for the kids. Now, in order to make sure that I don't spend more than I need to, I will take this list, go to their closets and see what we have from this last season. So like I said, the short sleeve t-shirts, for example, and I have a box upstairs in the attic with some things from the previous season that they might actually still fit into. And I think I have a sweater for our daughter that she still fits in. And then our son, so our second son, he is now 3 years old. Our oldest is 8. And I have a few things saved from our oldest in that box that our youngest can wear over time. So I have to check if there is something that is winter gear that he can actually wear. So that is the first thing that I do, go over their clothing and see if there's anything that we can still do. So that is what I do first. And then when that is done, I have a few things ticked off and I know what I still need to purchase. And then when I have to purchase the things, I will just take this list with me, or I will take a note in my phone and just make sure that I only buy what I need. So let's say we have 2 dresses left from summer. I make sure that I only buy 1 dress. Now, this is not a rule that is set in stone. I've had years where we had 2 dresses left from the previous season, and then we go to a store and there's a deal for 2 dresses for the price of 1, for example. Then yes, I will buy 2 more dresses and she will have 4 for the season. And that's okay with me. I just don't want to spend and spend and spend, and then at the end of the season realize that we have 10 dresses, 20 sweaters, and she hasn't worn any of it or half of it. That is what I want to make sure it doesn't happen. So that is just why I have this list. But like I said, if there is something that they really love, and if I go to a store where we find a fun t-shirt for our 2 boys and they already have 4 t-shirts, but I find one that they really like and they have 1 more, that's okay with me. I don't really mind, but I just want to make sure that we don't go overboard. So that being said, when we go and purchase clothing, what I want to look for is, first of all, is it practical? Is this stuff that we can combine? Because like I said, when we have, for example, a dress and we have a cardigan that matches really well, but that cardigan doesn't match with any other thing, it is kind of a waste of money, because that cardigan can only be worn with 1 typical outfit. If I buy, for example, a black sweater or a black cardigan or a dark blue one or white, even though I don't really like to purchase white for the obvious reasons, but if we buy colors that are more practical, that we can be combining with other things, that is way better. So what I love to do is I like to have the color and the fun thing. I don't really like a lot of prints. For our daughter, I like to have prints that are more flowers or such, but no Disney cartoons and things like that. But what I like to do is make sure that the shirt or the dress for my daughter, they are fun. And then the cardigan is just very basic. So our cardigan is usually, like I said, dark blue, black, or maybe white, but usually that doesn't happen. For our daughter, I might purchase a pink one because she obviously wears a lot of pink. She's a very girly girl, so she loves wearing pink. So she has a lot of things that can actually be combined with the pink. But that is something to keep in mind. So buy things that are easily combined. So make sure that for the bottoms, for example, you buy a black jeans, a blue jeans, a gray jeans, things like that, that can be easily combined with anything on top, just to make it a lot easier. And the same goes with shoes. don't buy shoes, or at least that's not what I do. I don't buy shoes that are very, very colorful and that really don't look good with a lot of things. I want them to have shoes that can work with our church outfit, can work to play outside, it can work with anything. Shoes that are easily combinable. That is what I love to do for their clothing. And then for snow gear, that is actually, I wrote it down on this printable because I know that a couple of you will probably live in an area where there's snow, so you will probably need snow gear. For us, I'm not going to purchase snow gear because we don't get snow. That we literally get, I don't know, 1, maybe 2 days of snow here, and that is literally like this much. They can hardly even make a snowball, let alone build a snowman. We haven't made a snowman for the last couple of years because there's just not enough snow. So we will not purchase snow gear, but I know a couple of you will need to or will want to. So that is why I wrote it down on this. But enough talking. I am gonna go through all the clothing, see what we have for each of our children. So I printed them out 3 times, 2 boys and a girl one. And I'm gonna go through all their clothing, make sure that I have everything checked off that we can still use. And then the fun happens, which is we are gonna go shopping. Now, we are probably gonna do that in 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then we're gonna make an entire day out of it. And I really try to make it very fun for the children. So it is gonna be our fall shopping day. And then we just go together, we buy all the things we need. I have a list, which again, I will put in my phone, or I will take this with me. And I'll just say, okay guys, we're gonna go to this store and we can pick out 2 fun t-shirts. And then we will see what we can get. Usually that one day we can get everything we need because children are not that picky, at least not our children's ages. They are 8, 6, and 3, so they're not that picky yet. I can imagine it's gonna be different when we have teenagers, but for now it works. And we have a bunch of stores in our town because we live in a big city. So we'll probably be able to do that all in one day. And I'm probably gonna film that and I'm gonna show you all the things that we have and how we are going to combine all the things for the next season. So stay tuned for that video, and I will also show you all the things that we have left from the last season that we can still use this season. So make sure you are subscribed so you can actually view that video if you want this printable for a boy or a girl. And again, I will change the pajama to 2 pajamas. So if you want that printable, you will actually be able to find it down below in the description box, and you can get it there for free. So make sure you have it, and I will show you what we have in my next video.